Hi everyone, and welcome to What's New in Solid Edge 2021. I'm Dan Staples, Vice President, Solid Edge R&D, part of Siemens Digital Industries Software. At Siemens Digital Industries Software, we're all about helping you harness the power of digital transformation to develop better products faster and more efficiently. We bring the technologies of tomorrow to our customers today. And Solid Edge 2021 is the perfect example of that. Solid Edge 2021 from Siemens provides you the speed you need to get the most out of your entire engineering process, maximizing your productivity and decreasing your costs. Mechanical design. Design at the speed of creative thought with new subdivision modeling, lightning fast reverse engineering, a new user interface that's powered by artificial intelligence and an intelligent 3D model search engine. Electrical design. Enable fast, accurate 2D layout of industrial control panels with new cabinet design capabilities. Simulation. Optimize and validate designs with tighter integration between flow and structural simulation. Manufacturing. Speed up NC programming with a searchable post-processor database, new fast roughing, and adaptive milling. Technical publications. Produce high-quality documents and illustrations faster and directly from your 3D models. Data management. Take control of your data, saving time and money with rapid concept modeling and shape search capabilities. Cloud-based collaboration. Harness the cloud to edit and share CAD files and much more. And there's so much more. Our beta customers are calling this the best Solid Edge release in years. We can't wait to share all of the details with you, so get ready to experience Solid Edge 2021. Hi, and welcome to Solid Edge 2021. I'm Dan Staples, Vice President of Solid Edge R&D, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Oliver Duncan. So I want to start with a question. Where can digital transformation take you? So how can we use digital transformation to make your business more productive and more profitable? And I want to start here because there's typically been three different pieces to your business process, right? You have design. I design the products. But then I have to realize those products. I have to turn them into products through production processes. And then I want to optimize those products, typically a long process after you get them into the field to be able to get the data back and be able to figure out how to make your products better. But what's happening is that these worlds are collapsing. Design, manufacture, optimizing, it's all pulling tightly together. And so you have to think of the digital twin not so much as just a CAD digital twin, but also a manufacturing digital twin. And taking data from the field in a tight closed loop and bringing it back to design and manufacture to make your products better. And this starts with Accelerator. So Accelerator, design, realize, optimize, whether it's electronics, mechanical, collaborating with others, simulation, IoT, operations, it's all there for you. And it starts with the Solid Edge portfolio. So it's very important to understand that Solid Edge is so much more than a CAD system. Sure, it has the best mechanical design in the marketplace, but what about the rest of the things that you need to do as a business? Electrical design, simulation, manufacturing, all part of the Solid Edge portfolio. Technical publications, data management, regardless of how small or how large you are, and now also cloud-based collaboration as well. And I'm really pleased to announce that we're bringing this not only to commercial customers, but also to students and startups. So the full portfolio of Solid Edge is available to both of these constituencies. Rather than being just MCAD, we have the ability to have MCAD, electronics, technical publications, all available completely free for students and for startups. So I want to introduce to you Solid Edge 2021 and how can it help you start your digital transformation journey. I'm going to be using a data set here to talk through a popsicle making machine. And the really interesting part about this, I want to thank our partner Finamac. So Finamac's a company that had a great idea. They said, how can we take aerospace technology and apply it to machines like ice cream, popsicle, chocolate making. And they've really transformed their business, full digital transformation. If we take a look through their catalog, we can see all sorts of things. Ice cream making machines, popsicle making machines, chocolate, display cases. Here's some ice pop machines, mixture prep, all beautiful designs. The most amazing thing about this to me, however, is that none of this is real, what you're seeing. This is all digital twins. Every picture you see here is straight from Solid Edge, rendered, and into their catalog. So you're really seeing the full realization of the digital twin here with Finamac. So let's start with mechanical design, the core of what you do. New subdivision modeling techniques, very fast reverse engineering, and some new artificial intelligence capability I think you'll really like. Also an intelligent 3D model search engine. Quite a lot to see here just in this first section. So let's go through them one by one. Subdivision modeling, reverse engineering, adaptive UI, core CAD, the stuff you do daily, and supplier catalog integration. And these are just a few of the things that we're highlighting today. There's a ton of new stuff in Solid Edge 2021 that I think you'll really enjoy and will be really productive for your company. And let's start with subdivision modeling. This is amazing technology that allows anyone to create beautiful shapes. So in the past, this was really the domain of a specialist, NURBS and surfacing and all these complicated things. Now anyone can create beautiful shapes. Let's take a look at that with Oliver.
Yeah, thanks Dan. So let's jump into the Finamac machine and we'll take a look at subdivision modeling. So here what we're going to do is design the portable controller. And as Dan said, subdivision modeling is all about enabling you to develop distinctive organic shaped products, but without the need for expert knowledge. So if you're not the best at surface modeling, for example, here's your chance to shine. We'll start here with industrial design sketches as a guide, and really subdivision modeling can be simplified to 3 steps. And the initial shape, a control cage to push and pull, and then blend options. We started here with a box shape and pushed out the lower portion using the control cage. A split operation can be used to subdivide the control cage, which in turn gives more control over the shape of the body. And the control cage can then be adjusted. Here we can accommodate room for the central area where we need the controller screen. A simple lift operation adds the necessary faces to the model. And then importantly, this blend function can be used to control how sharp or smooth certain edges are. And while many expect to see only smooth blend options, that's not the case in Solid Edge. Here you can choose sharp blends wherever you like. Then to create the cutout for the screen, a series of similar push and pull techniques can be used to easily get the desired result. Now, many parts are designed symmetrically, especially in the consumer space. To achieve this, we can simply define the symmetry plane, then any edits made on one side of the cage are reflected on the opposite side, as you can see here. And those of you who use synchronous technology in Solid Edge will be familiar with the steering wheel, and it's equally at home here to manipulate this organic shape. For the notch at the top of the part, a simple move face operation creates the geometry that we need here. And to help keep track of what edges we've blended, the value of each of those blends can be shown at any time for every edge and vertex. And that's shown here. Now we need to create the handle on the right-hand side of the Finamac controller. I'm not going to cheat here by pulling out something pre-created. We're going to do this live just to see how easy yet powerful this technology is. Same as before, grab an initial shape. Here we'll extend its form and then use the control cage to push and pull into shape, followed by some blend control, of course, for the finger grips. Nice and easy. Done. Importantly, traditional solid and surface modelling techniques can be integrated with subdivision modelling. Here we can use an existing surface to split the subdivision geometry and then thicken the result to create the raised portion of the handle. And of course you can go on to add further details using more traditional modelling methods. But just look how easy that was. Something that would have taken traditionally hours, if not days. But here in Solid Edge 2021, we're talking minutes. Back to you, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie. I tell you, I've been around the industry a long time, and I've seen what it takes to do that kind of modeling, literally days to do a type of model like that. And to see that done so quickly live in front of us, it's really, truly amazing, even to an industry veteran like me. So what you see is it's really easy to create those shapes, right? And you use the polygonal cage. Takes a little bit to get the hang of it, but once you get the hang of it, it goes really, really fast. The great thing about it is it's right in Solid Edge. It's built in. There's no specialized tools, no other products to buy. Available to you in Solid Edge 2021. We're seeing some great feedback from customers around this. For example, Jason English at Ditch Switch. Ditch Switch, of course, makes earth moving equipment and ditch digging equipment, of course. But they are bringing more and more stylized shapes. They want to see what can their industrial designers do with a new technology like this. I'm excited to see as well. Next up is reverse engineering. We introduced reverse engineering a couple years ago, and we've been continuing to invest in it, making it faster, adding new features to it. I think you'll be really pleased with what we have in Solid Edge 2021. Let's take a look with Al.
Yeah, thanks Dan. So we'll jump back into Solid Edge 2021. And we'll take a look at one of the recent additions to Solid Edge's reverse engineering toolset, deviation analysis. This allows you to measure the accuracy between an original scan and the resulting reverse engineered model, or even compare scans. The result plot colour codes deviation for easy interpretation. Red means our test body exceeds the reference body, and dark blue depicts negative distances. On-screen callouts identify minimum and maximum deviation, and you can copy and paste any of the data for later reporting. Settings such as deviation range and result decimal places can be adjusted at any time, taking just seconds for the model to recompute. Yeah, back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks Al. Some great new capability there in reverse engineering. Of course, the deviation analysis, really those models that you're taking from the real world and creating a physical digital twin, how far do they deviate from the real world product? Easy to tell with deviation analysis. And importantly, it's really fast now. So things that used to take minutes now take seconds. Next up's Adaptive UI. This is a great new technology I'm really excited to bring to you guys. It uses artificial intelligence to predict what you'll do next. How does it do that? Well, it looks at what you've been doing in the past, and it looks at your patterns, and then it figures out what might you do next and presents those options to you. It's really groundbreaking stuff, so let's take a look.
Yeah, very cool indeed. So let's jump into Solid Edge once more. And what you need to do here is keep your eyes on the top left of the screen. So Solid Edge 2021 includes artificial intelligence-based assistant in the user interface up here to predict the next commands you need based on what it is you're doing and where you are in a design. So for the Finamac machine, there's lots of sheet metal work, and Solid Edge 2021 has learnt that from the design engineer, and rather than presenting tools that are commonly used across the industry, which would be good, it's presenting tools commonly used to the individual, which is excellent. That's right, Solid Edge 2021 is now individually tailored to you, and what's more, it will continue to learn from you and dynamically prove how it holds your hand through your day-to-day work. And it's really interesting to watch, dynamically presenting the next selection of tools, even across environments, as we go from sheet metal to sketch and back, presenting those specific commands. And I said at the start to keep your eyes at the top left of the screen. Notice that it's just one toolbar. This means you can remove the other toolbars to maximise your workspace. You have what you need right here, ready when you are. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks, Ollie. That was great. As you saw, we're harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, and you see how it can really be applied to your daily work. So it's personalized to you. It actually learns from you. What it does after the first day of usage versus what it does after a week of usage will be a little different because it's learned from you. It's a little bit smarter. And the great thing about it is, though, you can also share that with others in your company. So even though maybe your work isn't the same as other companies, within your work you may have similar things that people do. You can give them a head start on learning by sharing your piece with them. In the area of core CAD enhancements, we've had a lot of work going on. As I said earlier, there's no way we can cover the depth and breadth of Solid Edge 2021 in this short update. But I want to show you a few things that I think will be really valuable in day-to-day work, the stuff you do every day. Ollie, let's take a look.
Great, thanks Dan. So yeah, let's jump back into Solid Edge one more time. And here is the Finamac Popsicle machine. Oh, by the way, the actual name of this machine is PopCircle. PopCircle for popsicles, I like it. First off, we're using large assembly mode here to make the most of our computer's resources and keep things performing as we expect. You can see that top left. And there's more to help with performance here also. It's common practice for suppliers to provide a 3D file of purchased items, such as the piston assembly that you can see, and using the new internal components option on import, all separate parts are contained within one single assembly file, with no parts written to disk. This enables faster import times, especially on larger data sets. And even though these parts are all internal, we can still carry out many traditional operations, such as taking measurements, analysing mechanisms. Here we can see the correct operation of the piston assembly with its internal components. Furthermore, you can then assemble the item in a way it would work if it were a regular assembly. All in all, this provides increased performance and lower consumption of system memory. Next up, reusing designs is now even easier. When copying and pasting multiple parts and assemblies between designs, existing relationships are automatically captured and reused in the target assembly. A step-by-step process guides you through the operations to add the external relationships required to fully position the parts. All internal relationships come along for the ride. This significantly reduces the time for these common operations. Next up, let's step into sheet metal, where we've got new multi-edge flange command that speeds the process for designing sheet metal parts. Multiple edges can be selected at the same time, angles can be defined, and miters automatically added. It's as simple as picking the edges and then pushing or pulling. In addition, partial or centered flanges can be defined, and trim options make light work of tasks that would normally require multiple operations, even with offset or gap distances as required. These sheet metal enhancements, along with many others, increase productivity and efficiency by being able to design parts faster and easier. Next up, and also new in Solid Edge 2021, is a new decal command. This makes it quick and easy to add labels and images to parts. You simply select the desired image, you define the desired size, and then position it accurately using regular sketch relationships and dimensions. The decal can span multiple faces, as we see here. However, changing the position of it is as simple as modifying the dimensions or relationships that are assigned. Solid Edge 2021 also sees enhancements in frame design. We'll move to that next. Here, what we're going to do is place a cross frame which has coping applied so that it matches the circular cross-section of the vertical frame. Now we can specify a weld gap between two frames, and this is especially important in generating an accurate cut length of welded frames in our parts list. Also new in Solid Edge 2021 is the end caps command, which allows quick definition of these types of parts within a frame. This single command provides a wide range of options. Simply select the frame cross-section, choose the material and specify the type. You can choose from different types like inward or outward, and even define offsets or have chamfered corners. The end caps are then reflected in the bill of materials, eliminating additional work for the user. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Al. Some truly great stuff in there, and as I say, just a little bit of a preview. But large assembly performance, our customers keep making larger and larger assemblies all the time, starting with a smaller assembly, getting bigger. Suddenly they're doing a machine. Next thing you know, they're doing a small factory. And we're keeping up with that and continuing to add capability to go bigger and bigger. Internal components. This is a really exciting feature. Like today, it's used for importing parts, as Ollie was talking about. The ability to import an engine that has 300 parts and just jam it all into one assembly and not have to worry about all those individual part files because, honestly, you really don't care about them. Perhaps they come from a supplier. But that internal components technology also is going to allow us to leverage that in the future and do some more exciting things in coming releases as well. The sheet metal advances are really amazing. I know a lot of you are Solid Edge customers because of sheet metal. We're the sheet metal guys and continue to be so. The new multi-flange with the ability to auto-trim against each other, that's unique in the industry. It's actually even patent pending right now. Frames, we continue to build that out. A lot of machinery design customers building frames. End caps and the weld gaps provide great capability there. And decals, as you saw, it's not just decals on a flat surface, it's curved surfaces, it's across multiple surfaces. Really, really nice implementation. And we see our customers really enjoying the Solid Edge 2021 release. For example, Luca Carminati at CMS has been working with the new sheet metal. They do a lot of sheet metal at CMS, and this multi-flange and auto trimming is going to save them a bunch of time. And what about supplier catalogs? You're often getting different parts and catalog data from your suppliers. Different people make different products that you incorporate in your product. What if that was so easy to find, a bunch of different ways to find it and be able to utilize it in your design? It's going to save you a whole bunch of time. So let's take a look at that, Ollie.
Yeah, indeed. That's all included in Solid Edge 2021. Let's take a look. So this is 3D Find It for Solid Edge, powered by Cadinus, the latest search engine for mechanical, electrical, and electronic engineering. So here we are searching for a cable gland using text, narrowing down the search by filtering supplier, and we can even add additional search items, in this case to filter for ISO standard. You can even search using 3D geometry, sketches and much more. We can visualize the 3D model for the part or even its 2D drawing, select the relevant individual parameters as you saw earlier, and then a single click brings it right into Solid Edge, ready to go. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks. So as you see, you can really save a lot of time. Just reuse things that already exist, but the problem is usually finding them. So being able to go to a supplier catalog, find the suppliers you're used to working with, and get the products directly from them. Access to more than 1,500 CAD and BIM catalogs, and really lots of interesting ways to search, fully integrated with Teamcenter as well. The folks at Ditch Witch are very excited about this. The catalog integration allows them to save a lot of time, not having to build parts, rework parts, but simply use what already exists. All right, so a lot of stuff there in mechanical design, more than we could possibly cover here. I invite you to look into it more deeply. But not just mechanical design. We were talking earlier about digital twin. I think you really need to take a look at your business and think not only how can I be productive with mechanical, but can I expand? Can I go further in my production process perhaps? Or can I go sideways into electrical? What ways can I become more productive as a company by using the tools to enable your digital transformation? And so electrical design is becoming a lot more integrated with mechanical, electromechanical design. I want to talk about that. Before I go there, I just got to say one more time, when I look at this picture, I thought this was a real product. This is not a real product. This also is a digital twin of a control panel. Just amazing what the technology is capable of these days. So there's a lot to talk about in electrical, and first is wiring design. And there's a really important thing coming here in Solid Edge 2021, and that's cabinet and panel design. It's a whole different thing when you're wiring a tractor or a car than it is when you're creating industrial control panels and cabinets that go into the machines that you design. Full complement of tools there now.
Okay, let's take a look. So here we are in Solid Edge wiring and harness design. We're going to add to the existing electrical design work for the FINAMAC machine by laying out the machine's control panel. Solid Edge 2021 has new cabinet panel capabilities that allow us to reuse the schematic intelligence that you know of Solid Edge to generate the panel layout. Placing the correctly sized cabinet based on our specs, we can add additional items such as backplates, channels, mounts and other hardware. We also need some wiring ducts, so here we'll place a series of channels. Dynamic dimensions provide accurate feedback, and industry standard profiles are available. Using the mount command, we can add the necessary DIN rails to which we'll attach electrical components. Again, accessing the properties allows us to choose from industry standard sizes and profiles. Adding some dimensions to the mounting plate, as well as the channels and rails, will help document their positions. Associating the new layout design to the schematic allows us to place the relevant logical electrical components. Placing devices is simple, and there are many ways in which this can be achieved. We can place single objects or multiple objects at the same time. Shortcut options allow control over snap points, rotation angle, the order of placement, and much more, all of which are dynamically previewed during this placement process. The last few devices are being placed onto the top and bottom rails. Yep, nice and quick and easy. And of course, what's going on in the background and what's automatically being updated is a bill of materials as we've been adding these devices to the layout design. And the bill of material IDs can then be easily generated with balloons. Finally, for the panel is the terminal plan, which assists in the assembly and wiring of the terminal strips. The fully associative terminal plan tables are automatically generated, documenting the terminal blocks along with their specific symbol, physical sequence in the strip, and details of where the wires terminate at both ends of each block. Now that the electrical design and documentation is complete, we wish to share this information with our MCAD colleagues. And this is where connected mode comes in. It makes it really easy for the ECAD and MCAD worlds to come together and collaborate. So here we're switching to Solid Edge 3D CAD. We have connected mode on, and you can see the existing wiring details that have already been added to the design. We can then cross-highlight components between the two disciplines. Now we're going to bridge in some final conductors to connect the two cabinets together. And then we can bundle these wires together. And to keep the bundle neatly organised within the assembly, we're going to use the new route along a surface command, which provides a highly efficient way of routing the bundle path around the contours of this frame. All we need to do is simply pick the bundle to be routed, select the faces of the geometry the bundle needs to follow, and then plot some points to define the path of this bundle to route the ends of the bundle through each of the glands on the respective cabinets. Awesome, done.
All right, thanks, Ollie. All right, I will tell you, I am not an electrical engineer. I don't do electrical, but just watching that to me is quite amazing. The amount of productivity you have in terms of laying out the cabinets and panels, really remarkable. So if you're doing something that's using more manual techniques, you're going to find this is going to just add amazing productivity to your day. And what you saw there, first of all, is that custom-based, table-based interface to do the device snapping to rails and so on. There's also, we didn't get a chance to look at it, but there's also an auto routing capability on your schematics that'll save you a lot of time. And of course, this is now all upward compatible to the Mentor line of products. You got to see a little brief there of routing along irregular geometry. It can be even a sculpted shape, maybe something you did in subdivision surfaces. We also have that connected mode now extended, so it's not only working with Solid Edge Electrical, but it's also working with Capital. And finally, we have integration to more third-party products as well. And then in the area of harness design, now to be clear, when I talk about harness design, I'm not talking about the 3D that mechanical engineers might think of. Harness design is also something you do in 2D. How are you going to lay out the harness for production? So when we talk about harness design, that's what we're talking about here. You have the ability to visualize that in Teamcenter as well as tie it back to requirements. It enables tracing and to the requirements themselves, and it allows interactive auto routing for the full signal path. In the area of PCB, actually some great stuff as well. Of course, it's all about that collaboration between electro and mechanical and the ability to bring those things back and forth, maybe propose a design change and accept or reject it. That's all supported through the IDX 2.7 format, as well as we have the mapping of 3D models between the Expedition product, for example, from Mentor and the Solid Edge product. We're seeing a lot of traction here with people who are adopting this product. From our portfolio, if you think about it, Solid Edge being more than mechanical, right? Mechanical and electrical with the wiring, the harness, and so on. And you see how they work together. Folks like Matthew Fresco at WashTec are taking advantage of this already. It's a true digital twin. It's not just a CAD, mechanical CAD digital twin. It's a digital twin including electrical, and it really solves a bunch of problems that are normally found in the field. So I think you're going to find this is a great area for you to expand into. Next up is simulation. Lots going on there. Of course, we have products for stress analysis and modes and vibrations, all sorts of different things, flow analysis. You're going to see some great integration between those two products happening in Solid Edge 2021. Let's take a look. Ollie?
Yeah, let's jump back into Solid Edge and we'll take a look. So back into the Pop Circle machine. And first off, we're going to look at SimCenter Flow EFD for Solid Edge, which features new capabilities and modules for electronics cooling applications. The new package creator specializes in the rapid creation of accurate thermal models of electronic packages with correct definition of chip layers and solder balls on the chips. Here we're going to see clearly the thermal effect on this PCB board and then in turn its effect on the overall electronic enclosure. And looking at the flow trajectories, which we can turn on, around the fan area, this shows how the fan swirls the air and pushes it into the side of the enclosure to cool it. We can also see how the fan is performing on the fan curve and show the operating point of the individual fans based on the fan curve data from the fan manufacturer. ISO surfaces are another way of illustrating where airflow is going and showing the velocity at a volume plot, In addition, Solid Edge 2021 now has the ability to apply the results from a computational fluid dynamics study, which we've just seen, as an input to Solid Edge's structural thermal simulation studies. Focusing on the tank containing the liquid bath that freezes the popsicles and looking at the results of this thermal flow study, we can see how the cooling liquid interacts with the assembly. These results can then be sent to Solid Edge's structural simulation by using the export results command. Now let's get the structural analysis set up. So also new for Solid Edge 2021 is the ability to suppress or remove any components directly from the simulation pathfinder, making it easy to test the design on a subset of the study geometry. When defining the material for the insulating core, another new feature is the ability to highlight key material properties that are required for the study we're attempting to solve, as can be seen here by the green colour coding. This makes it easy to ensure we have appropriate properties defined for an accurate study. Our last step before solving our structural study is to import flow EFD pressure or thermal results. These are automatically applied directly to the correct bodies and also the faces in the study. And the result, where we can see all the pressure from the cooling liquid and where it's causing the highest areas of stress on our design. And it doesn't stop there for new capabilities in Solid Edge 2021. Also new is the ability to probe edges, ultimately saving us time from having to select each individual node. Cool, back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Al. Like I say, I've been in this industry a long time and I'm still amazed by some things I see. The stuff around flow simulation, the integration of that with the stress simulation, it's just amazing stuff. So we continue to enhance Solid Edge simulation in many ways, improving the interaction with materials, making it easier to remove components from the study, being able to probe the geometry more easily. But really that ability to tie flow and structural together is really quite amazing, right? So we're able to take the information from flow and read that directly into Solid Edge for, let's say, a stress analysis. In addition to that, you saw the new Electronics Cooling Center. Full suite of capability for electronics cooling, very deep. The other thing we've added is something called BCI-ROM, which means probably nothing to you. But what it should mean to you is months to minutes. This is, again, amazing technology. A study that literally would have taken 6 weeks of CPU time can be done in 3 minutes. And in those 3 minutes, you'll be within 5% of what those 6 weeks would have given you. Truly amazing stuff coming out of the team, and I invite you to take a look at it. Next up is manufacturing. Accelerating your product development, whether it's additive manufacturing or subtractive manufacturing, we have the tools for you.
So let's jump into Solid Edge CAM Pro. And new in 2021 is integration with PostHub, an online library of post-processors that makes integration with your machinery easy and quick. With new posts added regularly, PostHub is searchable with filters for machine type, manufacturer, controller type and kinematic configuration. Once the desired post processor has been selected, it can be automatically downloaded and installed, and verifying the post output is nice and simple. Next up, we're going to take a look at Solid Edge CAM Pro's multi-axis roughing, which is a great tool for quickly removing stock from aerospace parts like the one shown here. Multi-axis roughing uses adaptive roughing technology to machine parts in the most efficient manner. And viewing the multi-axis roughing path in replay mode allows visualization of the tool axis tilting as the cutting tool removes the material. The 3D dynamic simulation option shows tool motion and concurrent material removal. And notice how multi-axis roughing efficiently removes material without ever burying the tool in the cut. That's extremely important for efficient machining. With machining simulation, users can view the actual machine motion, which delivers a really high confidence level and is necessary for complicated multi-axis machining centers. That's what you see here. And Solid Edge CAM Pro supports G-code based simulation, meaning the virtual machining center is acting upon the G-code just like the real machine will. Back to you, Dan.
All right, good stuff. So we continue to push both additive and subtractive manufacturing forward. You can see the new PostHub library. This has been a thing in industry that's been difficult for people to deal with, getting posts for their machines. Much easier now with the PostHub library. You saw the multi-axis roughing, really state of the art. We've also added some things in additive we didn't get a chance to look at, but better material selection for what you're going to print your part with, and bringing together various additive checkers into one comprehensive additive checker that just makes it a whole lot easier to interact with. Another part of manufacturing, though, is nesting, right? A lot of you do sheet metal. We talked about sheet metal earlier. And in fact, the ability to lay those sheet metal parts out in the most efficient way possible. We have the most efficient algorithm in its industry for doing that. I want to talk to you about some of the new enhancements in that area. So let's take a look, Al.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So let's jump back into Solid Edge. And if your machine looks like this, as in consisting largely of sheet metal parts of varying materials and thicknesses, you'll really benefit here. So, jumping into Solid Edge 2D nesting, you can now search the complete assembly for appropriate sheet metal documents. And it'll automatically sort the parts by material type and thickness as this progresses in. By selecting the material type and then thickness, you can quickly make patterns from multiple jobs, enhancing shop floor efficiency. Flat patterns are then automatically extracted from the parts, saving up valuable time here. And assembly occurrence counts now automatically define part quantities, while the job multiplier quickly calculates the amounts needed to manufacture multiple machines. Solid Edge 2D nesting supports multiple sheet sizes. Standard sheet sizes are stored in a library, and you can easily define your own custom sizes. And here's Solid Edge 2D nesting doing its thing, finding the most efficient use of material. Savings in material costs alone, gained by the highly efficient algorithm, as Dan mentioned, can quickly offset the software investment. And last but not least, 2D nesting has a new quick cost estimator. From user-defined costs per square metre or yard, 2D nesting quickly generates the accurate cost of material that are needed for job cost accounting, quoting and inventory purposes. We can see that being applied here in the software and automatically giving ourselves that estimated material cost. Really nice. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks all. So 2D nesting, I think, is a great opportunity for many of you doing sheet metal to save a lot of money, honestly. It's a very efficient algorithm. It's the most efficient algorithm in the industry. We've also enhanced it to deal with odd-shaped shapes, like you see in the upper right here. The ability to nest something maybe out of cloth or leather, things that have an odd boundary are now supported. That adding the cost of material, the job multiplier, just makes it a lot easier for you to get your job done, sorting by material or thickness. Some really great new stuff in Solid Edge 2D nesting, and I suggest you check it out. Next up is TechPubs. So over the years, you've generated tons of Solid Edge data. What if you could take advantage of that and be able to generate beautiful technical publications super easily? Well, it's faster than ever in Solid Edge 2021.
Thanks, Dan. So yeah, let's jump back in one more time. And here we're going to put together an interactive maintenance publication, something that can be used on a touchscreen tablet by the maintenance department. A host of new and improved functionalities make it simple to create clear technical publications, be it for manufacturing, installation, or here, maintenance, and it can be interactive content like this, or hard copy paper content too. New selection capabilities in Solid Edge technical publications allow the organisation of groups of parts and subassemblies into named sets, making it easier and faster to select, show or hide multiple parts at the same time. Here we'll focus on this single mould assembly to build a document that describes the cleaning process. The new view carousel function makes it easy to navigate through illustrations within a storyboard. And creating an interactive view is fast and easy. Here we can accommodate multiple 3D views on a single page, and selecting a part on the right displays it in the view on the left. The next page includes step-by-step instructions for cleaning the mould assembly. The best way to visualise this process is to mimic it through an exploded view with dynamic text boxes providing instructions. Adding buttons to step through the process is made quick and easy by using the new manual markup resizing options. Not only can you import all native Solid Edge exploded views, but you can also create custom exploded views within Solid Edge technical publications. Adding an interactive parts list is as simple as drag and drop. The parts table is automatically displayed based on the 3D model's metadata. A new powerful and versatile parts list editor also makes it easy to customize this table. Adding an illustration table allows us to quickly switch between the collapsed and exploded views of the mold assembly. You can see that here. The project can be published to industry standard formats such as 3D PDF or, in this case, HTML5. The rich interactive documentation can be viewed in any web browser without additional plugins. Also new, 360-degree publishing to get an all-round view of your product. The automated functionality allows for more robust presentation of your designs, a great way to capture images for product and stakeholder meetings. Also new, clickable SVGs, another new feature, which allows us to publish an illustration in this interactive SVG format. When a part in the model is selected, the corresponding row in the table will also be highlighted, and vice versa. And furthermore, being SVG, it's beautifully crisp and clear. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks all, looks really good. So the TechPubs we see that you can take advantage of the data you have today, right? As I said, people have generated literally millions of parts. Some customers have upwards of 15 million parts. The ability to use that in your technical publications directly, very valuable. Faster performance, now integrated with Teamcenter as well. And you saw some of the great new features, the carousel page object, the 360-degree publish. All good new stuff in Solid Edge 2021. That leads us, of course, to data management. As I say, you've generated a lot of data. Whether you're a company that's got 2 seats or 200 seats, we have you fully covered with our scalable system. So let's take a look at some of those enhancements now.
Yeah, thanks Dan. Let's jump back into Solid Edge. And we'll kick off with the new concept modeling workflow using this popsicle mold. So the concept workspace is a space where a designer can explore new ideas without committing the files to Teamcenter. Think of it as a sandbox where you have the freedom to make any changes to a design without compromising the existing models. Here we're going to create 2 concepts of our design. We can then explore our first concept for a new mold retaining mechanism by removing some of the existing components, then making some changes to the mold plate, deleting features, as well as adding some new ones. Using this first concept as a starting point, we can go ahead and create another one which can be explored later. The designer has the freedom to create as many concepts as desired. With concept 1 still the focus, we can add the appropriate mold retaining components to finish the first assembly concept. And going back to the Cache Assistant, we can switch to concept 2 and open the design data. Here what we're going to do is assemble the different mold retaining components for this idea. And once the concepts are finalised, the data can then be sent to Teamcenter. The Concept Assistant helps with this process and provides options to filter for new or modified components or even revert any changes made. The 3D Compare tool allows quick visual check on the changes between the concept and the server versions, and the user has full control over the actions for any modified components. Once everything is defined, the data from the desired concept is seamlessly sent back to Teamcenter. Also new for Solid Edge 2021 is integration of Solid Edge's model-based definition content. Now all the downstream manufacturing information, including the MBD PDF output, is automatically captured by Teamcenter and visible within the item revision of the part or assembly. Moving over to Solid Edge's built-in data management, a new Open As command allows users to control exactly how a file is opened from either Windows Explorer or from the most recently used menu. This allows full control over how an assembly is opened, such as defining the correct configuration, setting read-only status, applying large assembly options, and much more. A new shape search capability allows designers to more effectively reuse existing models and prevent recreating designs from scratch. You can simply use an existing part or even model a basic representation as a basis of shape search. Solid Edge then scans the available database for similar looking parts, and filters are available to approximate the match criteria. Shape search results are compared with the original part, and the accuracy of the size is displayed as a percentage value. And once the desired part is found, a single click opens it into Solid Edge and makes it ready for use in our design. Cool, back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks all. So a lot of stuff to see there in data management. First up, Shape Search, new product for Shape Search that allows you to reuse that data you already have. There's nothing more inefficient than recreating something you have, but if you've got 100,000 parts or 1 million parts, how are you going to know? Well, the way you're going to know is through Shape Search, now available to everyone. We've also enhanced Pack and Go, which is a very popular Solid Edge feature, allowing it to trace the links even outside the current context. And the Open As command is super handy. It may not be obvious what you use that for, but for example, if you want to open an assembly with a certain configuration, you can do that easily from File Manager and open it to a certain configuration. Good stuff for your everyday use. On the side of Teamcenter, the Concept Modeler is really a great new technology. Being able to make changes and try out what-ifs without committing a part number, for example, and deciding whether it's a brand new part or a revision to an existing part. Wire harness and alternate position assemblies now visualized in the Teamcenter portal. And of course, the local component support. We added the local component support in Solid Edge, fully integrated into Teamcenter as well. Next up is cloud-based collaboration. So more and more we see our customers around the world are having to collaborate across their business in different locations, collaborate with customers or suppliers. And the cloud really enables this. Some great new capabilities for cloud-based collaboration. Let's take a look.
Thanks, Dan. So being cloud-based, browser-based, means you can use this on any device, be it your phone, be it your tablet or PC, and it also works with any common CAD file types. It's not just Solid Edge, it could be NX or other common file formats that you might work with in your company. Now, being browser-based, it means it's instant on, but we can improve that productivity instant on in terms of a guidance. So here we've got user-assisted guide that holds your hand each step of the way in using any of the capability in this app. So here we're setting up a new project. It's guiding us to upload files into this project and into our cloud storage. And we can do this in two ways, either directly into the browser, or I'm going to show you some desktop synchronization later on. So this data here could be PowerPoints, could be Words, could be PDFs. For CAD files, here we've got an integrated 3D view environment. We can hide and show components with the tree on the right-hand side. And there's other great tools here, such as Automatic Explode. So here we can understand the assembly makeup, great for design and manufacturing reviews. And no pre-setup explode needs to be handled there. Also, it's got great tools such as the section views or cutaway tools. And if we want to take measurements on the fly, that's another tool here. And notice just how easy the interface is. It's what I call non-technical. So it's not just for design engineers' use. It could, for example, be used in a sales situation. Nice and easy to get to any of the product features. So here we're taking measurements on the fly. We can also change the units on the fly too. And in this interface, we can also add markups or commentary. There's some tools to do some redlining. We can choose pre-selected shapes or just do some freehand sketching over at the top of the 3D model. And we can also include text annotations as well. And any of these markups get recorded in the tree. And what's great about that is you can start to have a conversation back and forth on any of the issues that you're tracking, or maybe it's positive sales points about the product that you want to call out. And it also records who has made that markup and when it was made. Okay, so I talked about this other option of getting data into your cloud storage. We looked to upload into the browser. Also, what's available is desktop synchronization. So this multi-CAD project that we've got here, on our desktop, that's represented simply as a folder. So any data that we bring into this multi-CAD folder, either we can drag and drop in, or we can just save in, for example, from Solid Edge. This will get synchronized in the background as you work into this app. Okay, so importantly, also another great capability in this app is the sharing with whoever you like. And it's nice and easy. Just simply type in the email address of the person you want to share with. You can choose the access permission or the access level that you want to grant. So for example, here we could just choose view or view and download. You can protect your intellectual property here. And then finally, augmented reality. So this will take the 3D CAD model, it will superimpose it onto the physical environment, snap it onto any surfaces that are seen through the camera lens, to scale by the way, and then finger gestures can be used to manipulate that model. So here this orange juicer really was that large, and that's a great use of augmented reality to get that immediate design feedback. Back to you, Dan.
All right, some great new stuff there. Cloud-based collaboration. Again, your organization has expanded, you have people in different locations, you have customers, suppliers, pulling that all together through this new cloud-based collaboration app. It allows you to synchronize the files automatically because you can just drag and drop it on your desktop, it'll automatically be uploaded. You can do the view and markup, as you saw, you can communicate with your customers or suppliers. And of course, it's all secure. You can share with who you want to share with, but also keep your intellectual property very safe. And finally, augmented reality. You saw that ability to mix the physical world and the digital world, a digital twin mix, if you will. Very powerful. Customers are already trying this out in early access. PJ had the following to say about it. He's really got a distributed design and manufacturing organization, and his ability to use the new cloud collaboration tools allows them to communicate, collaborate across the globe quickly and easily. I think you'll find the same. So I invite you to start your digital transformation journey. You've seen a lot of features in Solid Edge 2021. There's mechanical design, there's electrical design, there's tech pubs, there's data management, a full suite of tools. And I encourage you to start your digital transformation journey today, or if you've already started it, take that next step. Integrate manufacturing, integrate electrical. The sky is really the limit. So Al, what are some ways we could get started on our digital transformation journey?
Yeah, so the easiest way I would say is join the Solid Edge Community Forum. So just search for Solid Edge Community or take the use the link on screen here where you can explore blogs, you can go to the forum, you can learn in the knowledge base, and yeah, and it's great, you can interact with people like yourself and myself who are in there daily. And also we have an ask for you guys, and that's to bring Solid Edge to education and community. So while we can provide Solid Edge product portfolio, which we provide free to academic establishments and institutions, and new learning assets and certifications, we really need your design expertise to join forces and help in the education and community areas. Finally, we talked about next generation cloud collaboration. An important point to make is this is actually available in early access right now for you to access. If you bring your phone up and scan the QR code on screen or go to the link, you can get involved right now.
All right, so that wraps up the formal part of our presentation, but I see lots of questions coming in, so let's take a moment to answer some of those. All right, so we have some questions rolling in. Let's look through those and see what we want to chat about here. Why don't we start off with a question that's relevant to everyone, which is, when will Solid Edge 2021 be available? We're just putting the finishing touches on it. As you may know, we have a tight quality process, and we will release the software when it's passed all the criteria that we have for it. But we've been doing this a long time, so we're pretty good at predicting, and it will definitely be available here in coming weeks, a little bit later this summer. It's looking really good, but we want to iron out the final little details, and you'll be enjoying it very soon. Okay, well, here's one about subdivision modeling. Is subdivision modeling technology included with Solid Edge? And actually, that's good news on that one. Also, starting with the Classic product. And so both in Classic and Premium subdivision modeling is offered. Honestly, I'm glad somebody asked that because that's rather cool. You usually have to buy these, if you find subdivision modeling somewhere, it's an add-on package, costs a lot of money, built right into Solid Edge, which I think you'll really benefit from. What about, let's say, adaptive UI? Is adaptive UI targeted at experienced users or novice users? So as I described, it actually works for anyone really because it learns from the user. Now, I would say that it gets better as you use it, right? So an experienced user, if you use it for a few weeks, it will get really good at predicting what you do. Clearly, a novice user doesn't have any history to work from if they're just getting started, and maybe they stumble around a lot. One of the great things, it's kind of a hidden feature, is that you can take the adaptive UI output, if you will, the knowledge from an existing user, and give it to a novice user, somebody just starting with Solid Edge, and they'll be able to benefit from that if they're doing the same kind of tasks. In fact, it'll kind of coach them into the right order to do things. So I think it can work for either one, and artificial intelligence is a really powerful thing, and we're really happy to be able to take advantage of that and provide that to you. Let's see, 3D Find It website. How many parts does it contain? I honestly do not know the answer to that. I know it's got over 1,500 CAD and BIM catalogs. I would guess it's in the hundreds of thousands, possibly even in the millions, but certainly all the common suppliers that you might work with will be up there, and I invite you to go take a look at it and poke around. Let's see, going on here to CAM. Post-processor library. Does the post-processor library for CAM Pro cost extra, and how do I get at it? So the library itself doesn't cost extra. I don't know right offhand if there are posts in there that might be a small charge. Certainly that seems like there'd be an opportunity there maybe to build a marketplace or whatever, but what I'm aware of right now, there are definitely free posts up there, and I'd say go into the Solid Edge forum and ask that same question here in a week or two, and I'm sure someone will be able to get back to you with that answer. Can I use Solid Edge section views in 3D publishing? Yeah, absolutely. So the publishing product's technical publishing and illustration products transfer the data directly from Solid Edge, and that's one of the great things about it. I know that so many of you have built lots of data, hundreds of thousands of parts or even millions of parts, and all that information is directly available in the 3D publishing product. So let's see, one here about concept modeling. Can I return to a previous design using concept modeling if I already selected a different idea? I suppose in this case, the answer is yes and maybe no. It depends on where you are in the process. So if you think about maybe you're working on a concept and therefore you haven't committed it to Teamcenter, it's in this concept modeling space. Maybe you work on 2 or 3 different iterations. They're all still in this concept space. I believe once you though say, hey, I want to declare this a special Teamcenter item and assign it an item number, well then it's truly an item in Teamcenter, and I don't think you'd be able to roll back. But as long as it's still in your concept workspace, you should be good. Let's see. So this is CAM Pro and subdivision modeling together, I guess. Can you transfer the models you create using subdivision modeling? Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that might not be obvious when we showed that, of course, you're making the manipulations via the cage, but it's actually creating B-spline surfaces or NURB surfaces, whatever you want to call them, automatically as a part of this. So that's just like you created them by hand, if you will. We'll go out to CAM Pro, we'll go out to anything else. You can transfer it as a solid model to any system you like, including CAM Pro. So a lot of power there. So let's see, how similar do designs have to be identified in the new shape search tool? Do they have to be exact matches? Actually, this is maybe a little bit of artificial intelligence ahead of its time. It's kind of a fuzzy logic kind of shape search, so certainly if it's 100% match, you'll get it, but that's probably the least helpful to you. If it's 100% match, then you probably have built the same part twice already. So it will, though, it sorts by the match, so it'll tell you the percentage match, like hey, this one's a 92% match, this one's an 87% match, and so on. So it sorts the answer in that order. So more than likely you're going to want that the most well-matched one, but it's really up to you. But they definitely don't have to be exact matches. It can be any kind of similar. It uses an artificial intelligence kind of thing to figure this out for you. All right, so I think we need to kind of bring things to a wrap here, but bear in mind you can ask your questions. We have moderators on Facebook and YouTube, so even though formally ending questions here, you can continue to ask your questions there and we'll be sure to get answers for you. All right, thanks so much for joining us today. I think you're going to find Solid Edge 2021 a great release, and I can't wait to see what you do with it. Solid Edge 2021, where today meets tomorrow.